Why in the world would anyone in their right mind want to prep in the desert where water is so scarce? Because water is one of the top priorities of prepping, right? Well, there are ways to deal with water. And so happens in this area of Arizona, northeast Arizona, we have the second largest aquifer in the world right below our feet. And it's not tapped into like the aquifer down in the valley in the area of Phoenix and Tucson, or the one in western Arizona, which has been hit pretty hard too. So there's that. Also, I find that people in the desert have done a lot with water collection, are able actually to grow their own food even in the desert from rainwater collection. So there's a lot of answers for how to deal with water in the desert, especially in the area that I'm in. I am in the high desert. This is over 5,500 and about 60 feet in elevation in certain areas, around 50, 60 feet in northeast Arizona. Now you can see behind me is a juniper bush. There's juniper bushes all around here. Now you may ask, why in the world is Greg Allison and Green Greg's not been doing videos like I'm about to show you? This is my bug out van right here, my prepper van. I'll show you more about that in the future. But when I got here a month ago, I couldn't even get to my property. I didn't have any kind of access to my property. My property is over a quarter mile in that direction. This was a fence across here, and there was juniper bushes just like that all the way up. There was no road, fenced off, no access. The actual access point was supposed to have been up on the other side of that hill back over there, a road which was fenced off. The property owner was not contactable, and furthermore, there was even for the access, it was supposed to have been mine. And as you get into the property, it was almost impossible to build a road back in there. It was so rocky in the hills, and it was also some of the prettiest country around. You really wouldn't want to tear it up anyway. So there's just a lot of issues with using what was supposed to have been the proper access to get access to my property. So I had to find a good property owner in the neighborhood who was willing to grant me an easement, and he did. Sometimes that's hard to find, but I found Bill on the hill up here above me, and he was real good to me in that regard. What really made the difference here was my good friends Scott and Jennifer Miller that came in here and actually built this road for me. Scott's got a lot of experience building roads out here in the desert. He knows what you do with the washes and all that stuff, a good equipment operator. So he actually came in here and put this road in for me. I did a little work on the tractor myself, levying out an area to put a home on my property. And because I had to take this trip a lot longer than I'd meant to, I only meant to be here 2 weeks, I wound up having to actually work remotely with my day job out here. So I've been working. I've been planning some future business opportunities with Mr. Miller. And also, we've been putting this road in. And we used a tractor. It was supposed to turn it in originally Friday, but last Friday, but we had a lot of rain and it really stymied us. So we got an extension for Monday, but they had problems with the pickup on Monday. So we actually used that tractor all the way up to this morning. And I've also had a couple of little problems. I had a flat tire in my vehicle, I had to take it in and get it fixed. And I had to fix the window over here on this side here. The cable went bad, it wouldn't roll up, it stuck down. I don't need to drive home through rain with the window struck down. Also, it's not good for security in your prepper van to have a window stuck down. So there you go, my friends. That's part of what I've been doing. So why prep in the desert? Well, there's a lot of good reasons to prep in the desert, and that's what you really want to hear, right? One of them is, look at all the people around here. That house is abandoned. There's a guy over there on that property, but just look, you see all the people? You'll actually see some people when you get on the hill on my property. But we're going to take you to my place, and we're going to go through my place. But I always tell you to get out of the city. There's too many people. And even where I live in Alabama, it used to be, last year went from the third largest city in the state to the first largest. It's growing like crazy, leaps and bounds. The more people move in, the more nervous I was getting about it all. Getting nervous and jittery. Hope the wind is not too bad out here. We'll get in the van, that'll shelter the wind a little bit. And we have honeybees. They probably are after us. I don't know if it might even be a fly, but there's a lot of honeybees back here because there's a lot of flowers. See the flowers? You're gonna see more. So we're gonna get in the van and we're gonna travel up this road. Now I've got a little gate that we built where we cut the fence, so I'm gonna put it back in when I leave. Shut this off. But this was totally impassable until now. So you're about to see the first grand tour of Green Greg's West. the high plains, excuse me, the high desert prepper. High desert prepper. So this is heading to in my bug out van to my bug out location. Now the best kind of bug out location is one you actually live in. Now this was solid juniper trees. You see them right there. Future firewood for Bill on the hill. My neighbor up here to the left. Met a lot of good people out here. And I got to give thanks to Kyle and Lisa. I don't know if they want their name mentioned, so I'll kind of keep that quiet unless they tell me otherwise, who identified my property for me 2.5 years ago. I've had this property for 2.5 years, and I didn't even get on it until about 3 weeks ago. It's been on the hill back there. The owner of this property is not even been on this property probably 25 years. This is a nice little, see, here's the thing guys, this road was a hill. Let me back up again, I want to show you something. Oh, I gotta get gas. This hill, this road's a little bit built up here on the left shoulder in places. You see behind me? Look here. You see that? This road was built up and it was carved off from that bank there. And that was some really tricky tractor work that was a big heavy tractor that Mr. Miller ran. And coming down this hill, as you can see, pardon me if I got the bugs on the windshield. One cool thing about here in the desert is the air is pure. There's no pesticides hardly out here because there's no big agriculture. There's no pesticides. You don't have all the junk and air that you have in regular agricultural areas. It's really pure air. And for people with hay fever problems, there's usually not a lot growing out here, so it's usually better for them. So a lot of people move up here just for the quality of the air. The air is thinner. I was concerned about that personally. So I actually got brought an oxygen meter with me because I've had some, a little bit low oxygen. Now this guy of this property up here, yeah, he's the one that's not been here. Now from here back is Bill's. Now see, that's the corner. And this is an access, there is an access right here that's already public. And we are on my property. And this is the high point from my property. We'll get out here and walk around just a second. We're gonna drive on down. I got roads all across my property now, roads and pads to put stuff. This is a pad to put some water tanks. There's my future mailbox and cooler I'm probably gonna leave here. You see this pad area here. Scott put sand on it so that we could set big water tanks here and it wouldn't be punctured by the rocks and gravel. Now one of the beautiful things about this property is it's covered with all kinds of beautiful multicolored rock, pebbles of many sizes and colors. There's quartz, there's all kinds of metals. There's some little bitty tiny pieces of petrified wood. If you come in here looking for petrified wood, don't waste your time. There's a Navajo lady bought this place once upon a time and she toted baskets of that stuff out. So there's nothing of commercial value in that regard. But what you will find, there's little bitty pieces, tiny chunks for the most part. And there's a lot of stones. Now these stones aren't gemstones, but some are near gem quality. I mean, there's a lot of this opaque quartz and different things like that in here. There are rocks of just every color you can imagine. I found a couple little crinoid fossils. I used to find zillions of those when I was a kid. And chert rock. There's even some flint rock here. Some people said I wouldn't find, but I did. So this, pardon me for panning the camera so fast, and that's the high points on my property. Now that is one of the biggest juniper, people told me that's the biggest juniper bush they've ever seen right there. That's a huge juniper bush. It's a tree. It's juniper. All these trees are juniper. Those are firewood to me. Now what I got is a property from this high point. It goes down that way and down that way. It's a little rock shift, goes all the way around this into a lowland. And I've got a low-lying area. It would make great pasture land below. And even some of this upper area would make good pasture land in its own right. but down below it's got a lot of stuff growing. So I'm sure that would make excellent pasture land. You'll be able to see it shortly when we get down closer to it. So we will go around here in a little bit. Bug out van. I've lived in this van for several nights, although I've been staying with Scott and Jennifer the last few weeks. But I got about 4 or 5 nights sleeping in this van so far in this truck, and about to take a couple more nights in it, probably at least one more, because I'm heading back to Bama. In fact, by the time I post this video, I'm probably on my way back to Alabama already. Look at all these rocks, guys, they're everywhere. All right, so we've had all these roads put in here. We'll go down that one last. That was a false start of the road. Not a good path. So I'm thinking about building a mini house back here. I just had this, that's where they dug down about 30 feet, it looked like, 3 holes, and did the perk test. This land does perk, which is good news. I'm probably gonna put my little mini house right here. I got these 2 junipers back here for backdoor shade, and it's kind of recessed in here so you don't see as much stuff. That's gonna be my garden area right up here. And this is one path to it, that's another path to it, and up there will be a little building for batteries for solar. I gotta be off grid here, it just costs too much to put regular power in. That's gonna be my front road to this house, and that'll be the storage building. It's gonna have batteries in it for the solar, probably some water tanks, and the well may be down here somewhere, but I'll pipe it up, the water up with the well pump all the way to the hill. About the front here, take a turn, Boyd's, oh, birds. A lot of little birds around here, there's birds, there's bees. Now that is where I plan to put a underground house one of these days. My future planned universal habitat would go right here. This is to be about a half-scale universal habitat right here. Big enough for 2 people to grow all their food in. A lot of little critters on the ground. I caught a horny toad out here this morning. On the other side of it, right here where I'm at. So one thing you're going to see a lot of out here is lava bombs. See all that? That's lava bombs that were thrown in here through the air from a volcano, a cinder cone. Volcano chunked these lava bombs here about 1,000 years ago. This would not have been a good place to have been 1,000 years ago. It would have had hell and brimstone. See all these lava bombs? This is not from a lava field. This is just lava. It's underground, it's called magma, right? Anyway, see all these multicolored rocks? Check them out, guys. I can't put a sock on it. The mic is recessed immediately under the lens. See my road over there? This is all mine. Back up that tree to over there and way back down that way. Now, so I painted a W up there for farmhouse. We'll go there in a little bit. If the wind's too bad, don't worry, we'll be back in the vehicle shortly. I'll show you something here. Look at all the rock. If colored rock is worth anything, I'm a rich man. I don't think it's worth a lot. Show you the bottom pasture. This is the western side of my property. You see that stuff down there, all that green? That's mine. That's my pasture land, future pasture land. Why prep in the desert? Because get away from the people, live off grid. I gotta live off grid here. I got no choice. I can't afford to run power to this place. The downside of putting in here is it's going to cost me extra money, a little bit more money than I thought it was to set things up due to licensing fees and things which are a lot higher permits in this rural remote county. Navajo County, Arizona has more permit requirements than Madison County, Alabama, the largest city in the state with the most per capita income. Is that wild? There's a lot of little, oh, there's sandstone. The sandstone is beautiful. There's a zillion little waterfalls where these washes come out on my property. Not a zillion, quite a few. This being one of them. You can see that. But there's a rock shelf on this property that goes all the way around, except for where the other road goes up above up there. It's the only way to my bottom lands that I can get access to easily. In some places this is real pretty, this rock shelf. It gets more pronounced as you go further west and then north. I mean north and then east, let's say. That little waterfall, can y'all see that? Let's see, got the sun on this thing. Not sure how that's showing up in the video. Some of them are prettier than this one. This is not the prettiest one I got. It's just one of many. These washes come down over the rock shelf. I've got a fair bit of good pasture land down here. My property down here includes all of that, all the way up to that tree almost, and back up that way. I got several acres down here, probably about 15, 10 or 15, I think it's more like 15. That's just like this. It's this heavy growth. Tell me I can't raise some cattle in here. Cattle. Tell me I couldn't put a few head of cows down here. I bet I could put 10 or 15 without having to have a lot of supplemental feed, so maybe some hay in the winter. And maybe if I get my access set down here right, I'll be able to handle that too. Grow my own hay. This fence is on my property. All that fence and that fence there, that's all on my property. My property goes past that. Almost those trees over there. Not quite on that side, but almost. Out up to that tree and back across. So, yeah, this is pretty fertile around here. Very fertile. Grows a lot. It has more moisture than a lot of the areas around here. And even when it's dry during the growing season, it puts a lot of stuff out. See this, guys? Look at all the flowers. Is it yarrow? Mallow? One of the two. I'll figure that out. Check it out. Way out over there on the other side of those power lines. You see how dry it is near the base of those mountains? That is one dry desert over there. That's up where your painted desert is. The painted desert is real near here, and so is the petrified forest. I'm going to get back in the vehicle and ride around some more. I just wanted y'all to see that. I don't know why in the world Greg likes Arizona. Because I got a real pretty property here. There's purple rocks, green rocks, white rocks, blue rocks. Just about blue. Cow patties. Yeah, this is free range. Check out this red rock. Different minerals and different rocks. That's what that is. None of those are gem quality, but they're pretty. All variety. I know that wind is disturbing y'all. We'll get back in the van. That'll cut the wind down. I'm trying to hold the camera in front of me and wind to my back. Yeah, there's some free range cattle on this property, but that'll end when I fence it all in good. There's a rabbit. There's both jackrabbit and cottontails here. Mule deer, white-tailed deer. They say there's antelope around here. Of course, we got all the deer. You're going to have predators. Of course, you know that probably there's coyotes here. It's also said there's Mexican gray wolves and mountain lions. Well, I've encountered one of them before. It's also said there's some lava bombs. Yeah. Not been a pretty day here when that stuff was raining everywhere. Let's hope it's a few more thousand years before that happens again. Maybe never. Look at that one. Never's a long time, right? So we're going to ride up down this way. I've got a place selected back over here to put some jalapenos. Got it marked out. Back down, well actually back down that way. That's my jalapeno area. Alright, we'll take you for the tour. Rest of the property here. I've got a lot of good exercise out here walking around past 2 or 3 weeks. When I first got here first week I started gaining weight. Then it went bye-bye in a hurry. Walking up and down these hills across this property is good exercise. But should the day come that I get infirm and have issues with that, I got roads. And I can get a golf cart. If the infirmities get the better side of me, I'll still be able to get around out here. I remember my bowling knife and my video. 3 favorite knives. Yeah, I've always got that thing with me. Had it since I was 12 years old. For 51 years I've had that knife. Probably a little over 51 years. Now you can see there are other properties out here. A lot of the 40-acre plots around here are occupied, but the one north of me is not really accessible. And one south of me, they don't have any access for that property either, so I don't know how they would ever occupy those properties. I could get access to them. If I had the money, I'd like to buy them, but I'm struggling to figure out how to accomplish my goals here because expenses went up, so I'm going to be really pressed. You see that big rock right there? That's a lava bomb. Can you imagine when that hit there? All right, this is my future garden. This is enough area to feed 2 adults. If you've been watching my videos and how much you need, about a little better than 1,000 square foot per adult. So I can feed 2 adults here. In that underground building, when I get it built, I can feed a couple there. And there's plenty of other property to grow food on back here. And have other garden plots. And other worm beds and cattle and pigs and goats and chickens and ducks and whatever you want, especially if you put a well in, which I plan to one day. I ain't gonna have the money for that right now though. I thought I would originally, but all this other stuff costs too much. But one day. This is the future rabbit hutch area right here. We'll put a rabbit hutch here. Okay, you see that ground plowed up down there? That's future windrows for worms. Yeah, have a worm farm out here. I'm not giving up on worms. The cool thing about here is there's no moles to eat my worms. Might be something else, but there's no moles. And right here is where I plan to put the worm building. Right here. This is where I'm gonna put a building for processing worms, kind of like my old log barn. It's already say the same function. I say old log barn. It ain't old. See, there's gonna be some windrows. And out here's some windrows. Give you some idea. Yeah, this is all mine. See, that's good pasture up there. And I could put gardens up there. I could do all kind of different stuff if I got the time and the energy to do it. I'm 63. I might run out of all that. But right now I still got the aspirations for it. Remember my aquaponics greenhouse? That's what this flat's for. Now see right there's a good little pasture garden area. I could do pasture there or garden. Maybe a pig pen or a chicken pen or something. Or more worm beds. Alright, we're gonna head up here down this little road. It's the first time a vehicle has been driven on this road. Push over there. And we just cut this road this morning. This is all my property, guys. See, there are some neighbors down across the way. A lot of these 40-acre plots are occupied now. They didn't used to be. All this has been subdivided into 40-acre plots. That one to the north of me, a couple of ladies in Minnesota or somewhere on that. They are, I'm gonna get stuck down here. It's gonna looks kind of soft. You see that big rock up there? It looks like it turned up like a sign. Pretty interesting. This would be a nice area to put a picnic table. Now that's not mine up that way. That is not mine. That belongs to the ladies who are up north. Now this is supposed to be the other road. It's not a road. And some really bad rock washes up there, really bad. It's been very hard to put a road in through here, and it would have messed up. That's actually some of the most scenic area of my property right up in there. Now that hill's on somebody else. My property don't go all the way to that hill. I'm on the north side of my property here. I think one of these days I'll widen this out a little bit. This is kind of narrow. It's really a golf cart road. So I can put stuff over here. Right there would be a good place for a pig pen or a chicken pen. One of the two. Duck pen maybe. So I'll probably put the duck pens first of all. I'll put some worm beds right there since my worm processing building is there. There. And I got some other areas to do stuff like plenty. I got plenty to work with out here. Back up in there. And I'm gonna leave a lot of this property, probably half of it just as is. I ain't gonna mess with everything out here. Although it looks like I'm all over the place. I'm not going to alter everything out here. For one, it takes a lot of time and energy. If I'm busy, if I'm still doing a day job, yeah, that's going to need a lot of time. And I may be for a while. Good chance. Hey, yeah, see, look at all this property back here. I can put worm beds all back in there. It's a lot of land for worm beds or garden plots back in there, greenhouses. There's just a lot of potential here. We can go down this road. I'm not going to go drive all the way down it. I'm going to stop, turn around. I did drive further earlier. Yeah, this was had some bad soft spots in it, so look at all that in there. To that tree, that's mine. I'm on the south side of my property. It's 40 acres here, guys. It's just a quarter of a mile in each direction, roughly. See all that? I could do a lot with that if I so chose. A lot of them leave as is, though. I'm just going to leave a lot of this as is because I like it as is. I like things natural. See, that would be a good area back in there to put some gardens, or worm beds. A rock. Right, maybe that's the next one. We can pull over here. Back in over here somewhere. Yeah, there's a lot of sand up in here too. There's a lot of sand dunes even. On up these hills, there's some real sandy areas. Firewood. Potential firewood. You see that? All that grassland? That's mine. That's mine. That's my pasture. But the only way I can get to it without messing with the rock shelf is right here. This was the only access I had. All these flowers out here. This wind ain't bothering you guys. Cloud bomb. Got there. Wide open. Yeah, there's a bunch of houses up in there. There's a bird. But this is a break right here. There's an opening in the rock shelf. So I can go down and get access to my bottomlands from here. This is the best access to my bottomlands right here on the north side of the road. You see all that? That's mine. Those fences up there. I go almost to the wash. Back out that way, up to that tree. And back over a little ways. Good ways back that way. It's more lush down there a little bit. This is not as lush. Get down, just down that little hill there, right in there is huge lush. You've already seen that. Tons of sandstone here. Tons of sandstone. It's got a lot of colors in it. Some people cut this sandstone around here and make stuff out of it. Make pretty patterns, grind it, make all kind of pretty stuff out of it. All these different color rocks. A lot of different scrub bushes. It is a desert, but it's not the worst, most arid desert in the world. Of course, we have been getting a lot of rain lately. When I was out here in 2019, this was all really dry territory. Some berries on that bush. Juniper berries. So this is what we've been doing here. Past couple of weeks getting this road put in. We didn't get the tractor until just a little over a week ago actually. It took me a good time to get all the access set up where I could have an access easement. Spent a lot of time calling the county, working with the officials, trying to find landowners, getting all the permissions, talking to landowners. A lot of them I couldn't reach. Fortunately, I met the right one. Fortunately, he's a nice guy. I just call him Bill on the Hill. There we are, we're out of the wind now. So let's go out of here. You can see the hill from the other direction. I gotta get some gasoline. I have to head to the country store. That's what they call it out here. The only store in miles. Call it the country store. Yeah, there's not a lot of stores. Everybody around here goes to that store. It's the local watering hole. Get feed, fuel, propane, ice, water. That's nothing. You can actually get water from there. Bill on the Hill's got a well. He said something about being willing to run a line down here to me. That would be very helpful. So, Bill on the Hill's been real nice to me. Lisa and Kyle have been nice to me. I'm not going to say their last name because I don't want to give them away because they want to stay private, as far as I know. Scott and Jennifer Miller have been real nice to me, very nice to me. Put me up here for almost a month. Done all this. Scott's been back here working his tail off for me. Mostly out of the goodness of his heart. He's a big-hearted man, a big-hearted man. He is trying to set up a company to take care of starving, malnourished children in Africa and South America. So, that's the diameter of my property. And then this is my camcorder, so you won't find any metadata on it. So you know what county I'm in, you know what city I'm within 20 miles of, which could be in anywhere, any direction. That's enough for me to say. We'll ride back out and see what this road looks like from the other direction. Scott's masterful handiwork here. Yeah, I've met a lot of good people out here. You know, anywhere you go, you've got good and bad people anywhere and everywhere. I've just been fortunate to meet a lot of the good ones, I suppose. But I think people in rural areas tend to be more salt of the earth and generally helpful. That's what I have found in my life's experience. All right, up the hill we go! Yippee! Yippee-yay! Alrighty, guys. It's desert, high desert. So, the best prepping place is the one you live in. Maybe one day I'll be living here. Be a good place to retire to. Like I said, the upfront cost is a little bit steep, but the monthly cost of living here should be a lot less than anything I'm dealing with in Alabama. Alabama's a low-cost area, typically, but my utilities are crazy. I'm paying $500 a month. I paid $500 for my utility bill this month, and I wasn't even at home. My utilities have gone insane. Let me back up a little bit. I'm gonna close that gate. My utilities have been out the roof. That's one of the reasons I'm going to get out of there. Utilities and mortgage. I got credit card debt out the yazoo thanks to an ex-girlfriend. So maybe I can sell and pay off 3/4 of my debt. I don't think, no, 2/3 of it, not 3/4. I think is the case. Get my debt load down, mortgage payments and credit cards. Oh yeah, ex-girlfriend really ran my credit cards to the moon. She thought she was galactic grid, as I guess was. She thought she was a rocket woman. Except her rocket ride was a credit card bill pile up. I've learned my lessons the hard way about people and what people in general can do to you. It's good and bad. This road is a sign of the good, though. Took two good people to make this happen. The one that gave me the access and the one that built it. So there are good people in the world. Just to let you know. And he also redid that road, going back for about, maybe a mile in that direction. So you got a mile in that direction and a half mile, quarter mile to my property. And it's more than a half mile because it branches out in a couple different ways on my property. So we put in a lot of road. A lot of road. Anyway, so why prep in the desert? Just to get away from the people. There's too many people in the city. Too many people in a lot of other areas in the east. Another thing to know is that out here, most people in the desert are already of a preparedness mindset. You almost have to be. A lot of people come out here simply because they are preppers. And then you got what's real heavy around here is the Church of Latter-day Saints, and they believe in keeping 1 year minimum food supply, but I hear they actually keep about 10. So they're very much into preparedness. They want to survive. That's just part of their faith. It's too bad that we're not that way nationwide across the board. That's what we need to be. So the whole idea is if you're out here and it hits the fan, there's less zombies to come eat you. I always warn you about that, right? I always warn you that, you know, no matter how well prepared you are, you got to watch what happens when the people pour out of the cities. And it may not, and once all the other food runs out, you become the food. You know, don't be the long pork. How many times I tell you that? Don't be the long pork, because they'll come eat you if they have to. But out here, most people got nugs, and coming to eat people out here is going to be a very risky proposition. And most people got better sense than that. It's like, nah, don't mess with these folks. Don't mess with them. So that's the beauty of this place. That's the beauty of it. It's a beautiful country. Beautiful sunsets. There's, you don't have to go far from here. You'll find petroglyphs and canyon walls all over the place. You got petrified forest. You got the painted desert. You got the Grand Canyon not far from here. You got mountains with trees just south of here. Sholo, which is about 20 miles south of here. So if I want to hit trees, 20 miles that way. Living trees, big tall ones. And if I want to see, well, there used to be big tall trees that turned into hard rocks, less than 20 miles in that direction. So I can go from forest to abject, bleak, barren desert within a span of about 40 miles around here. And I'm right smack dab in the middle of that. So, you know, it's a good place to be for exploration, to see things, to explore, which is a good thing for future retirement should I ever reach that point in my life. But anyway, guys, there you are. I don't know, I may be forced into it. Just given the other things going on. I don't know, guys. But what I do know is that there's prospects here. What I also know is that we're in a world where war may break out any moment. World War. We're a long ways from any nuclear power plants here. The closest nuclear power plant's way down in southwest Arizona. It's a big one, but it's a long distance from here. You know, it's not like being in Huntsville, or near Huntsville, which is a major nuclear target, just for the cause of the fact it's got all the engineers, it's got Missile Command, NASA. There's major airfields or significant military significance. There's the weapons storage facilities there. A lot of targets. A lot of targets. Here, the closest thing is probably, there's a camp, military camp with some arsenal storage near Flagstaff. But by the time any fallout would get here, most of it would probably drop out from there. And if it didn't, in 2 weeks, it'd be gone. So if you can just hunker down in a bunker, or just hunker down, stay out of the radiation for a couple weeks, here you'll be fine. Universal habitat's one way to do it. If you get into the underground portions of it, you can survive that time. Come out and do all right. You're off grid, power and water, everything else. Yeah, that's what you have to live out here. So it's got a lot of prospects. This is a place, you know, the Hopi Indians, another reason for prepping in this area. This is close to the Four Corners. And the Hopis believe the Four Corners will be the one safest place in the world when the next hit the fan event occurs. They think this area is going to be the safest place in the world. That's their prophecies. Take it or leave it. It ain't bad. Not unless a cinder cone goes off and starts chunking lava bombs. Now, that's a whole different matter. But no geologists are right now talking about magma underground in that area. You can see those lava fields if you go down east of here, southeast of here, down to, especially in the New Mexico border, a lot of major lava fields. But as you go toward the Concho, you'll see some of those lava fields, which is not many miles east of here. Not too many. You can see those. The cinder cones are back that way. Alrighty, guys. I'm going to say thank you for watching. Just always remember to don't be scared, be prepared. And why I bring you this stuff is the proposition of my channel is to help you survive, thrive, and stay out of the hive. I'm sorry I've not been bringing you 2 videos a day like I had been for a while. I have been exceedingly busy. A lot of people thought I was on vacation and relaxing. That's the farthest thing from the truth. But it's been good. It's been rewarding. And hopefully you'll be seeing a lot more of me soon. Good Lord willing. Take care. God bless. And Greg out.